Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're going to talk about Artifact Material Raid 18. We've got the clear today after just a grueling day. Just a really grueling day of making adjustments and making changes and trying different strategies. We found one that worked, and what's weird is how much difficulty I had with it, and then the time that it worked, how easy it was. Some of the adjustments that we made. So I'm going to go through, talk you through how I've done it with my account, and do my best to offer advice in situations where you might not have a champ that I have. For example, I used him, and his leader skill was probably very impactful, right? What's it called in this game, actually? His Lord skill. His Lord skill probably had a pretty big impact. However, if you have Wrath, his will be good enough, I think. As far as his damage and stuff, he helped, but I don't think the way that he helped beyond the Lord skill is super necessary. So we'll talk about stuff like that as we get into it. I do want to go in and collect my achievement real quick though. Yay. So like I said, we'll do the run real quick, and then we'll go through and talk about how everyone's geared and maybe some alternatives to what we've done. I'll also have to be sure I turn off Power of Dominance, which where do I do that? Here? There. Okay, so we want to make sure that's off. We're going to jump in. So the squad we ran is, his name's Torodor, right? Yeah, Torodor. Abomination. Volka, who we did 6-star for this. I wanted to get Volka in the mix. We have Baron, and we have Wrath. Now, I also have Valeriya in, and one of the adjustments that I made that I saw benefit from was getting... I might have called him Wrath again. I don't remember. I do that sometimes, but Baron. I had Baron on the bottom because I wanted her to get the damage bump from Torodor. However, I'm placing Baron first, and I need the benefits of having multiple of these champs down to get the stat boost quicker. So that's why we slid him up into the top row, okay? And then we have Wrath, who is A5. Then went down here, we have Olague, we have Valkyra, who you already know I'm such a big fan of. I think she's one of the only, if not the only heroes in the game I've specifically done a video about. I'm such a big fan of her, and I'm so excited to have her involved in this clear. I'm so glad to be continuing to use her into the late/end game. Because again, I'm just such a fan of her. I think she's so good. I still think she's so underrated. I'm glad they gave her another faction. I think she's worthy of that. I think she's so freaking good, and we'll talk about her impact. Then of course, Vortex, Valeriya, and Cuke, which is such a weird name. Such a weird name. So now I will say too, I watched Fastidious's video on this from about 3 months ago when Salazar was still the boss. Best I can tell, the mechanics are all still roughly the same. It's just a different boss for some reason. I don't really know why they did that, but here it is. So shout out to him, because I did model my approach based on his approach. Now, again, as over the last few hours, as I've been trying to do this, I've made several tweaks to this, but he kind of laid the blueprint that got me started here. So a big shout out to him. We've done some collabs and stuff together. He's great. We're big fans of him. So what we want to do straight out of the gate is drop Abomination right here facing in, and we want to go ahead and drop Cuke right here facing in. All right. And then what we want to do is with Olague, we want to wait until Abomination starts attacking, and then we can go ahead and drop Olague, all right? So that's our setup. That's the way you're going to start this off every time. Now, Cuke's going to ult, and he's going to charge up another ult, and we're going to drop Volka as soon as we can drop her. Olague's going to be fine. You have to get this boy kind of beefy to be fine, but he's going to be fine. So next we drop Volka. Now, after his next ult, he's coming out, all right? So he's going to get that one more ult off. He's coming out, and Vortex goes in. Now, again, you could probably play around with that if you wanted to, but it's not super necessary. Cuke's going to come back in relatively soon anyway, so it's going to be fine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drop Torodor over here. It's kind of a funky pattern that you have to hit here. Kind of a funky pattern. You want to start ulting with Volka ASAP as well. So we're going to drop Torodor here. Volka's still going to be fine over here on the right. But one of my big issues I was having was no matter how hard I stacked it up, on Abomination's side, minions were slipping through. And the goal is to not let any of them slip through. Your life is going to be so much easier if you can keep other minions from slipping through. And we'll talk about a lot of the adjustments that we made when we get to the gear. But one of the big problems with this is the minions start to slip through. Sometimes early in the fight, and then as we made adjustments, we started getting it later and later. And then I was getting to where I could get him down to like 30%, and then minions would start slipping through, and it just gets away from you as soon as that happens. Because when he gets that attack buff, he really becomes a problem. All right. So now, at roughly any point you think you can handle it, you can go ahead and drop Vortex and throw him back in. So like basically when he's ready, you can go ahead and throw him back in, all right? So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we're gonna drop Wrath up here. Now, it doesn't have to be Wrath, but it has to be someone that can handle this top corner. For me, Wrath does it fairly easily because he's got pretty good sustain, but you have to stop these two dudes, these two enemies up here, from meeting at that corner. Because when they meet at that corner, they're going to become one, and he's just going to destroy everything you got going on. He's going to run through every unit you have. He kind of becomes a boss of his own, but a boss that the team can't focus. So you have to kill them before they merge, or you're almost guaranteed to fail, all right? So we're going to get Wrath there. We'll go ahead and just, again, use ults as they come. When Vortex is ready, we might make the swap again. But what we're going to do is we're going to drop Valkyra up here. Because again, Volka's fine down here for now. But the next thing we do is put Baron behind her to give her some backup, okay? So he should get an ult around the time he's ready. So we'll let him ult. We'll put him out. And we'll drop him back in to give some support. She's going to be fine with these two, and then when we can, we're going to drop Baron back in. Go ahead and ult. And we're pretty much in the clear. We're pretty much coasting at this point. Baron's about to go down here. And now we're pretty much off to the races. Now it's just a matter of triggering ults when they need to be triggered and pumping out damage. Now, when he's ready, we might make the swap again to get him back in to start doing some poison damage. And then we're pretty much good. And the cool thing about this is the only ult you really need to be concerned about timing is Vortex. And again, I'll leave him in to let him get this ult off, and then we'll put Cuke back in, and I think we're probably going to be okay through the end of the fight. So we'll let him get this ult off, put Cuke back in, and then now we just trigger ults. Basically, as ults come up, we just trigger them, and we should be fine. We're keeping all the minions away from him, so he's not getting to buff himself. He's not getting the heals. Baron has pretty good sustain. Now, my Baron is A5, and that's pretty important for this because he's healing himself periodically, and I think that's an A5 perk. So, I mean, again, this is not like a free-to-play guide. I'm just showing you how I did it with what I've got, so that there's another example of a video of someone doing it, and you can use that information in a way that suits you. Is really the goal here, okay? Now, we did let one minion slip through, which is unfortunate. I think we're gonna be okay. I think we're gonna be okay still. But when I cleared this a minute ago, we didn't have anybody slip through. But I think we're okay here. And that's pretty much the gist of it. There you go, GG. So, again, now for me, it's very particular. All the placements are very specific. So let's do one now with an auto with Power of Dominance on, because I just want to go back over the placements, and then you'll see the swaps. This is my original run. Can we slow this down? We can't. But you'll see it's roughly the same thing, and then just kind of keep an eye on the swaps between Cuke and Vortex, right? Kind of as they're ready, we make the swap, and then toward the end, we try to rely on everybody else to take care of themselves. But Volka's got some self-sustain, as well as some team-wide sustain. Wrath has his self-sustain. Abomination can take care of himself. Valkyra is fine up there on her own. Baron's got some self-sustain. Everybody can kind of manage themselves, even if we pull Vortex out. So, but that's the gist of it. So, as far as placements and stuff go, now Torodor. He's the last thing I changed that made it successful. So let's talk about him first. All right, let's go. We'll just do it from the lineup screen, I think. He's the last change I made that cleared the run for me. And what I did with him was I switched him to damage. So we just went full-blown attack, main stat, and then I found as much HP and stuff in his substats as I can, and I didn't concern myself with crit rate. So he's got a life force set. Again, there's some crit rate there, but I'm not too worried about that. I didn't even max his armor, but I looked for defense bonus, HP bonus in the substats, and attack bonus in main stats. So you can see that's kind of what we rocked with here. And he actually came out pretty decent. He's still decently tanky, and he's got a shit ton of attack. He ended up coming out pretty well, but that was the difference. I had him on a tanky build and I put him there, and he wasn't helping Abomination kill stuff fast enough to prevent stuff from slipping through later in the fight. So you need someone behind Abomination that can do damage. I don't think it has to be him, and that's kind of where I'm saying I think there's a substitute. Now, obviously, I have the benefit of having his Lord skill, so everybody's getting better perks than with Wrath at the lead, but I still think it's okay. You just need someone behind Abomination that's, one, not going to get one-shotted. Anybody that's got some sustain would be very helpful. Anybody that's got a decent amount of block could be helpful. So if you've got if there's another tank that has some decent damage output, you could try that. Otherwise, I think there are plenty of fighters that will be fine for that. Okay. Another thing that's cool about him is he's got the extra square of range, so he can hit the boss while he helps Abomination keep targets out. So again, it's not like he's not a great candidate for the spot. I just don't think it has to be him. Okay. Any other fighters with any other range, I think, should be decent. Okay. But that's what we did. We didn't get a set over here. We just went attack bonus straight across the board, and looked for HP bonus and defense bonus in the subs. And again, that's going to apply to very few people because it's Torodor and he's a Lord, legendary, and he's very rare, but that's how mine's built. Abomination, he is another one that we made several changes to today. Also, everyone is skilled up to the point of needing crystals. Everyone is skilled up with powder, but no crystals. Pretty much, I think. So that's also something to keep in mind. For Abomination, he's on all kinds of broken sets, and kind of a similar thing, except I also focused crit rate on him. So I did want some crit stats on him. So we went attack bonus, crit damage. And basically in our subs, we're looking for attack, crit rate, crit damage, and HP bonus, because I do want him to have a little bit of tankiness. I think on the build he was on prior to this, I was focusing his HP a little bit too much. I think he was plus like, I don't remember, like 25 or 30,000 HP. And he was only plus like, I don't know, 6,000 attack. So we sacrificed some of that HP because we needed more damage output, because again, you have to kill these minions before they push through and get to the boss, because if they start getting to the boss, you're in trouble. So we sacrificed a good bit of that, and he still has no problem staying alive. And that's how we approached it. So he needs a lot of stats, a lot of different stats, but they don't have to be absurdly high. I don't think anything here is crazy. Very little of the gear in my account is really good. I'm doing this all with pretty mediocre gear across the board. If we go through and take a look at everything, There might be a piece here and there where you're like, man, that's a pretty good piece. But for the most part, it's all fairly mediocre stuff, right? It's not like unique crazy stuff. Also, his artifact is still level 1. I didn't even level up his artifact. Same thing with Torodor. His might be leveled up actually. No, it's not either. But my artifacts are about to start getting some love. You better believe that, dude. All right, so Volka. We 6-starred her today because she couldn't quite cut it at 5-star. And then I had her on some real crap gear from back when I first got her. So we reworked her today as well. I wanted her to have a lot of attack speed. This might be too much. I don't know all the ins and outs of attack speed. This is just how it worked out. So that's how much she's got. I did not worry about crit rate. I just worried about attack speed, and then trying to get a little bit of HP on her. So attack bonus and attack speed. You know, you'll see kind of a theme. And again, none of it is really that good. Some of this stuff probably shouldn't have been maxed, but I'm sick of trying to beat this dungeon. So we were doing whatever we could do today to get through it. That HP bonus helps her a lot. So if you can find a little bit of HP for any of these champs in your substats, that's going to be helpful, okay? Again, she's skilled up to the point of needing crystals, but not one single skill up more. And I put this on her. This was a big difference maker for me. If you've got a better artifact for her as far as damage output goes, and you can get it to level 10 so that she gets some more HP and stuff from it, that's almost certainly the way to go. I didn't have a lot of options for her, and I was having issues with her dying when he would do his devastating strike or whatever it's called. And this makes the difference in her dying and not dying. So this was the adjustment that I made. Again, when I get a better artifact for her, I'll make the trade. She'll probably pump out more damage and we'll probably get it done a little bit quicker. But for now, that's what I needed on her to keep her alive, because I couldn't keep her alive for the first part of the fight. So that is what we got going on for Volka. Baron, again, he is a 5. And I do think that's probably necessary for him. Maybe it's not. I guess I don't know the difference because I haven't done it without an A5 Baron, but I think it's probably necessary, all right? Now, the good news is he's only 5-star. And I don't even think I knew that. I thought I 6-starred Baron, which is probably a good thing, because if I didn't think he was 6-starred, I might not have tried him, or I would have 6-starred him to try him. But to know that he can do this at 5-star is pretty dope, actually. So there you go. As far as his gear, he's not really that well built either, which is a testament to how good he is. He is on a life force set, and obviously all we're looking for in his substats is HP. HP main stat, HP substat, just get his HP up is all I really worried about with him. It's a very mediocre build. Very mediocre build, and he's not even 6-starred, and that's dope. I didn't know that. He's skilled up all the way, and his artifact is at level 10, but it's kind of a put damage back out artifact, so, you know, it's not even really a great one for him. So, very, very subpar Baron, kind of shining in this team here. My Wrath, who used to have some of my best gear in the account on him, and then we did the video with Fastidious, and he reworked him a little bit. And instead of moving all my gear back where it was after he did his work, I just filled in all the gaps wherever there were gaps, and moved forward from there because I didn't want to mess up anything that he fixed in that video. So now my Wrath is a little bit different. We have a pretty decent build, actually. He could stand to have more attack, but I like him to have the crit rate. That's a pretty ring right there. Could be better, but yeah, decent. Yeah, you know, decent Wrath. Nothing too crazy. He is skilled up, and of course he is a 5. And then his artifact is the Flux Pendant, and I like that for him. I might leave that on him for a while. I do need to level it up. I'm so excited. I'm about to dump so much energy and gems into artifact raid, dude. Our artifact situation is about to be sorted. I'm stoked about that. But yeah, that's it. Nothing too crazy going on with him. As far as the bottom row goes, we did rework him a little bit today as well. He's decent. I think I've got a decent build on him. He's pretty beefy. He needs to be. He needs. I would estimate that he needs probably at least plus 60,000 HP in addition to his base. I would try to get him to at least plus 60,000. Now, granted, that probably varies a little bit based on how much defense you have on him. But the good news is all you really need to worry about on him is HP for this. So you'll see pretty much on every piece he's got HP bonus main stat. If there's a flat HP sub, we took it. And then over here, we took the best HP bonus substats we had. And again, here we had some flat HP. So just stack that HP up as high as you can get it. And he's good. He does his job. And don't ult with him. I don't think I said that in the actual run. Don't ult with Olague. If you ult with him, it'll throw off his rhythm. He'll stop generating his shield the way he does, and he'll die. So just put him down and forget he's there, and he'll do what you need him to do. He is skilled all the way up. I do have him at A5, although I'm not entirely sure that's necessary. A5, he's offering damage reduction to adjacent allies, which is probably very helpful. Don't get me wrong. No, because you're not even going to ult with him. So yeah, he doesn't have to be A5. A4 is probably handy. HP's handy. Defense handy. Probably get him to A1. But I think you could probably do this with him at A1, actually. I think you could probably do it with him at A1. So that's good news. And then as far as his artifact goes, I like this on him a lot. It takes some pressure off the healer in him. But again, once that shield starts cycling, he's fine. He's not going anywhere. If he survives the beginning of the fight, the hard part is getting him to survive long enough to get his shield up the first time. Pretty much if he gets his shield up the first time, he's fine. Sometimes I would have him go down before he could get it up the second time. And that's where the swapping the Vortex may differ a little bit for you. I got more HP on him, so I could go a little bit longer before I made the swap. But if you need to swap Vortex in a little bit sooner to keep him alive, that'll be fine. But if he gets through that second shield, I think he's fine. Again, and then again, you can swap Vortex in a little later. Vortex will top him back off, and then he'll be fine for the rest of the fight. It's just that beginning part, getting him in his rhythm of getting the shields, that can be kind of tough. All right, but just shoot his HP up. Valkyra, who is still one of my favorites. I'm such a fan of her. We may even go ahead and start skilling her all the way up. I still haven't skilled her up beyond needing powder, I don't think. But anyway, she needs better gear too. I think she had better gear. I think this is one of the ones where I just filled in the gaps after the fastidious rework, and I haven't revisited her yet. And I was just kind of going down the list. But again, this is a good testament to her, because this is very mediocre, and she doesn't even almost struggle in here. She's never even almost in any danger. All right, so we've got her on an attack speed set. You could put her on Calamity. You could put her on whatever you've got over here. All right, just get some damage on her. Really, damage and attack speed seems to be what we've kind of focused. And again, it's. I mean, those are decent for gold pieces, but still, her stats are very lackluster. So if you've got her, you almost certainly can build her better than she's built here. And I'm probably going to revisit her after this video, because she deserves to have some better gear on her. But even like this, again, you saw she's not even remotely struggling to stay alive. And she's doing a really good job of locking down that top corner and then helping the bottom right, Baron and Volka, keep the pressure off later in the fight. So yeah, man, I'm a big fan. Big fan. She's not awakened at all. I can't wait to pull some dupes. And then we've got Amulet of Arteries on her, which I really like. And I did not realize until later, but she does do magic attack with her basic. So this is really good on her. For every 10 instances of magic attack, Shadow Strike is summoned upon up to 3 enemies, dealing 80% damage. Pretty dope artifact for her. I'm enjoying it. So yeah, I can't believe she's geared like that. I haven't even looked at her gear. I didn't make my way down needing to re-gear her yet. Vortex, I think probably you all have a pretty good idea about Vortex at this point. Just you know, HP. Get some HP on him. He's got some decent attack speed. Again, he could probably be built much better, but it is what it is. It's nothing fancy. He is skilled up. He is A5. Probably, again, not necessary. It's probably very helpful to have him A5, but I don't know that I would say I think it's necessary. But either way, there you go. And then he's got the North's Glory on. It's not leveled up, but it's bonus shield on top of healing someone to full health. So it makes sense on him, right? Pretty standard, though. You all know how to build Vortex. Valeriya, who we didn't use, really. I think I had her in as... I kept trying her in different spots, and it just wasn't working. I kept trying her where Volka was. And now that I've kind of got a formula, maybe it would work, but I don't know. I think Volka's actually bringing some important stuff. The vulnerability... Yeah, I think, I don't know. I would probably stick with Volka over Valeriya there, actually. She's got good damage output and stuff. And with her artifact, it's cool. But, like, I think Volka is there. And then who's the last one? Oh, right. And then this guy, again. Don't promote him, I think it is. Don't promote him. You don't want Poison Trap. You don't need Poison Trap on him. You just want him doing this and this. Poison Trap is not relevant here. I don't even think he has an artifact on, does he? He does not. Are there any that would help him? Increases damage after killing. Increases damage in general. Like, are there any that have anything to do with poison damage? I don't know. It'd be interesting to go through and see if there are any that would benefit him, but that's it. He's skilled up, and then his gear, it's literally fill in the blank. HP bonus, defense bonus, defense bonus. Because he doesn't need stats to do damage, because we're getting damage out of him through poisons. So basically, as long as he doesn't get one-shotted, just get some gear on him, all right? It's not crucial for him at all. And I think that's everything you really need to know. As far as the run goes, Torodor is helping me out a lot with the Lord skill, his range. Like, I'm definitely having an easier time because I have him. And I don't want to, like, minimize that. But I also think it's probably doable without him. We can try to test that. If you guys are down for a longer video. Who do I have that might be able to stand in his spot? I feel like I want someone that has the range. We could try Valeriya out there. Because I think she's got extended range on her basic, so she can still hit the boss. I'm not going to ult with her. We could try her out there. Again, I mean, I know not everybody has her either, but I'm not really trying to do like a free-to-play guide here again either. So, you know, it is what it is. Deimos, but I don't think he can reach the boss, and I really want someone that can reach the boss. This is where me not knowing all the champs well enough hinders my ability to help anybody, because there's probably some that you guys are well aware of that could stand in his place, that have the range and do the other stuff that we want him to do, but I don't know. I don't know who they are. And then, so these are all the ones we'll be using. So the last champ is really kind of a formality. So we could throw in... who? I mean, I guess I could throw him, just in case we decide we want to use him. So let's see. Oh, I need to turn off Power of Dominus to see if this is actually doable, though. All right, let's try it. So the guide's over. This is just a bonus test to see if we can figure this out. All right, there's that. And then we are going to drop Volka. We're going to let him get one more ult out. And then... What did we say we were going to try here? Valeriya? So we'll put her here. Drop that ult. And then what do we say we'd like to do next? Is it Wrath up top? I think it might be Wrath up top. So I think they're coming out soon up there, right? We may have been able to get away with... No, we're okay. Good. We're not going to ult with her. Oh, we lost Volka. That might be... What benefits are we getting from Torodor? So what we can do, we can probably prevent that with the ult. So let's try that. Same thing, same start. We just have to be a little bit more proactive with Vortex. Volka goes down. One more ult from Cuke. And then Vortex goes in. Valeriya goes next. Okay, now keep an eye. I think he had an ult ready by the time that happened, right? So, actually, you know what we might be able to do? I think we can get away with it. Let's see if we can get away with putting Baron down first and then putting Wrath in the top. We'll speed it up a little bit. Drop that. Drop that. Drop you. And then we want to get... Go ahead and get Cuke back in, because why not? Might have should have dropped Valkyra. She keep them apart? It does. Okay. Ult. Drop a couple ults here. I think we'll let Cuke get one more ult, and then yeah, Vortex will be ready soon. So as soon as Vortex is ready, we'll make that swap again. Everybody's holding up decently, so we'll let him get this ult and make a trade. Nice. You come back. Oh no. Oh. I misclicked. Okay, well let's try to pretend that didn't happen. And do that. And maybe it'll still be okay. Maybe Deimos will be alright there. We'll just pretend I didn't click and he's been there the whole time, alright? Kind of a shame. I like Valeriya's artifact. I think we get some help from that. Oh, alright, one got through, but one got through last time and it was okay. Oh, I should have faced him the other way. I don't think he could hit the boss anyway, but I think that misclick fucked me up. I'm gonna just be real about it. We're holding in there. Hanging it. Who died? Who died? Who died? Who's dead? He died. How did that happen? What a strange run. How did she die up there? Let's do it again. After I talked so good about her. Maybe we need to be kind of careful with her ult then as well later in the fight. We also need to make sure we don't misclick. All right, so you can come on out. You can go in. And then we're gonna go. Like that. And then we were able, if I'm not mistaken, drop Baron first, and then Wrath, and then Valkyra. I believe we were able to pull that off, right? Let's slow it down for a sec. I reckon we'll shield for the next devastating strike and then make the swap. Just do it already, dude. Okay. Everything's going decently, it looks like so far. We're gonna... Oh, maybe that's what it was. Maybe they slipped through and she couldn't... I mean, to be fair, she is very poorly geared. So if she's... The fact she's helping at all is plenty. Alright, I think maybe what I'll do... Yeah, because we're gonna need to recover from this. Stop doing that to me, you jerk. Alright. Old City. Let's do it. I'm going to save hers for a second. No, we need to do it now, actually, don't we? Somebody still snuck through. Those little sacks of shit. So yeah, it's definitely noticeably more difficult. Kill it. You motherfuckers. Hate that. Hate watching them walk through so slow. Needing one more hit. Alright, it's gotta be you then. Did we lose over here? Alright. Maybe I can't do it then. Maybe it's not as doable. Again, there might be other options that I just don't know about. Maybe I can't do it with what I have without Torodor, but I still think if there's another defender slash fighter that has that extra range so that he can hit the boss and can help Abomination keep that side clear, I think it still stands. I just am not capable of it, apparently, with what I have. So if you know of any fighters slash defenders that can fill that role and want to make suggestions in the comments, I'm sure anyone that doesn't have Torodor would appreciate it. But anyway, that's how I cleared Artifact Raid 18 on my account. That's how everybody was geared. That's the strategy I used and my thoughts behind it. If we hit a point where maybe I pull some new heroes or try some new heroes out that I haven't tried yet and I come up with some other ways to do this, we'll follow it up and do more guides with different ways to approach this. But I figured we would go ahead and share what we had so far on it. So that's it. Again, any thoughts, drop them below. I'd be interested to hear them. I'm sure other people would appreciate it. And I'm getting out of here. Later, guys. Have a good one.